And we kind of, I kind of jumped the gun on this topic. The last, the Matt Brown Erik Silva fight. Was this, number one, was it the fight of the year, the possible fight of the year candidate, number one? Number two, is it the best fight you saw in the last, 2-3 years? How good was that fight between Matt Brown and Erik Silva? Matt, you started off because I know you want to talk about that. Because you're the one who brought it to my attention.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I missed it. It was on local TV. I didn't even watch it at that time. And you brought it to my attention then.
Yeah, no problem. Well, first of all, I mean, fantastic freaking fight. No doubt. So let me dodge your first question a little bit. And rather than talking about the whole fight, let me talk about the first round. Okay. The first round, I can honestly say that is the best round of MMA I have seen easily in the past 3 years.
Okay.
Is it the best MMA fight I've seen in the past 3 years? No, it's not, because that means it would have to be better than the 2012 fight of the year, which was Jim Miller and Joe Lauzon. And it would have to be better than the 2013 fight of the year, which was, previous topic, Jon Jones and Alexander Gustafsson. Round one of Matt Brown and Erik Silva beats any round of either of those two fights, in my opinion.
Okay. The
entire fight, however, does not, because after the first round, it was pretty much all Matt Brown with the exception of a couple of body kicks.
Yeah.
That hurt injury he sustained early in the first round. And in addition to the fight not being as close or as competitive, I think it didn't have the same implications as those other two fights. Those other two fights meant more in the division than that fight did. So, absolutely entertaining fight. I love all of the Matt Brown comments that are going around. You know, I don't know. You remember like the old Chuck Norris jokes, like, you know, Chuck Norris can beat the son in the staring contest, shit like that, right? Now, Chuck Norris is out, man. Matt Brown is in. It's like Matt Brown is so badass, like jokes, and like some of them are really good, man. So, I mean, phenomenal fight. I guess that's my initial reaction. If we want to get into kind of some specifics, we can do that later. I'll pass the buck for now and let you guys kind of initially react.
All right, Greg, go ahead. What's your initial reaction?
I agree, man. It was that first round was fireworks, man. I saw it for the first time a day or two ago, and shame on me for not catching it live, because that would have been one that where you stand out of your seat. But best fight of the last 2 or 3 years, I'd have to agree with Matt and say no. He hinted at one of the fights that I would put above it, simply just because of the fact that it went 5 rounds and the implications of that fight, and that was Jon Jones, Alexander Gustafsson. And the closeness of that fight went 5 rounds, just back and forth. You had no idea. You were literally waiting for Bruce Buffer to say who he thought won or who won at the end of it. So, and then the other fight that I would put above it, in my opinion, the last 2 or 3 years, and don't quote me on this because I don't even know if this was the last 2 or 3 years, was Dan Henderson, Shogun Rua. I think that was the first 5-round non-main event UFC fight that there was, and that was another one where I was off my couch, like trying to get face first into the TV because it was so exciting. So, those would be the 2 fights that in my recent memory that I would put.
I just had a visual of you jumping into the screen.
You know, yeah, you like that? So that's a good way to leave this podcast. You know, Matt Brown, man, enough can't be said for that guy. It's I was a little late to jump on his bandwagon or whatever you want to call it, but the fight versus him, Robbie Lawler, coming up, wow. I was also stoked when he threw out the Diaz name here. I think Matt Brown versus Nick Diaz would have just been a fight just to, I would have loved to have seen that. But Matt Brown versus anybody, show it to me, and I will be a paying customer next time. So.
All right. You know, I watched it. And the first thing I thought was, he just took a gut shot and dropped. And I was like, oh my God, he gonna get his ass whooped the rest of this round. And then when he popped up, it made me laugh because when Silva came up, he looked like the one who wasn't in control down on the ground. Because when Silva popped up, he was so tired from trying to get Matt Brown into a submission hold. He was just stumbling back and run, and then next thing you know, then Matt just started going at him, just hitting him. I was just like, oh my God. And then for the second and third round, they was just like, it's just butt whooping. This is just taking, this is good old slobber knocker. You just beating the heck out of him. And one thing I was really impressed with was with the amount of elbows Matt Brown threw. I was just like, oh, wow. Yeah, I don't see it that enough. Because he was throwing them he would get in close, but not, you would usually see a one-shot elbow. He was throwing pow, and then throw a jab, and then pop, pop, and then throw another elbow. And I was just like, oh, all right, yeah, okay, you got him on the ground now, and now you just blasting him from every different angle. And some of the different angle punches that Matt Brown threw were very impressive. So I don't think it was I think it was an impressive round, like you said, but I don't think that it was, I don't even think it's probably going to be fight of the year. I think there's going to be another fight that ends up trumping this one because it's only went 3 rounds, and for 2 of them, it was just, as Jim Ross would say, a good old slobber knocker. He just beat him down, man. Just beat him down. And when Silva went to the corners, he kind of looked like, I don't know what to do. And they were saying, where's the real Silva? And I'm like, you better figure it out because this dude's coming. You better do something. Sheesh. But, all right, Matt, I know you got something else to say. I know you're ready to talk some more.
No, man, it was a great fight. I think post-fight, there's a lot of comments about how badass Matt Brown is, and you can't deny that because he's a complete beast. The saying that I like in MMA and Muay Thai is, you can't stop crazy. And, Matt Brown only knows one direction, and that's forward. And, a guy like that is hard to beat mentally. You're not going to beat that guy mentally. He's going to get in your head because he is coming forward. I will say, and this is kind of, I'm going back and forth on this. I think when Matt Brown encounters the likes of Robbie Lawler or any top 10 contender for that matter, especially top 5 contender, that is going to know how to handle pure forward pressure, and they know he's not going to back down, and they're okay with it, and they do the right things like angle, like Silva wasn't doing. I think Brown's going to be in trouble. So I say that, but then at the same token, he is a smart fighter because there's not many fighters that can take a shot like he took to the liver and be smart enough, because he was standing up and he knew if he got hit with another one there, the fight's probably over, right? Mm-hmm. So he takes a calculated risk and he drops to the ground and curls up in a little ball, willing to receive punishment to the face just so the fight doesn't end because he knows if he gets hit in the body again, it's over. And Silva may have made a tactical error by going for a submission instead of just pounding the crap out of him because Brown was not protecting his face. And, that was a risk that I don't know that most guys in the heat of the moment, when you just got the crap kicked out of your liver and some dude's on top of you dropping bombs, most guys aren't cognitively going to be like, oh, let me open my face up so he doesn't hit me in the body, and I'm going to pray that he goes for a submission so maybe I can get out of that and recover. That takes some gumption, number one, and number two, to be able to think like that on your feet in a fight that so far you're getting your ass whooped. That's a lot about a guy.
That's not brains. That's not thinking. That's just, I'm not thinking. You know what? Screw this. Don't hit me in the body. Just punch me in the face a little bit more.
I don't know.
That's wild.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Greg?
Yeah, I don't know. Getting hit in the stomach or getting hit in the face seems like picking between the lesser of two evils to me. They both suck, so.
Yeah.
Especially after taking a gut shot like that.
And when he took it, I was completely shocked. Like, oh, boy, need to do some sit-ups. Need to do something. All right.
Everybody's got an off button, right?
Yeah, we all do. All right, so I want to thank everybody for joining us for these 2 episodes. We don't know what it's going to be called. You guys, I'm going to put up all the different names I actually have for this video series. And it's, you know what? I don't know if I should read them off. No,
if you guys want to vote for Punch Drunk, then it wouldn't hurt my feelings because that was my idea.
See, there you go. Punch Drunk. There you go. But there's a lot of different ones. Mixed martial ales, kick brewing, black belt beers. I can't even think of all of them, but I'm going to put them up. I'm going to post them up. I want everybody to vote. And the next time we do this video, we're going to display the new name of this video series. And when we talk about the next one, actually, what's the next UFC fight that's coming up? 174. When is that?
This Saturday. There's a free card this Saturday.
It's a free card. Who's fighting on that? I don't know. I have to look it up.
Fabian Maldonado. What the heck's dude who just
Maladano.
Thank you. Fighting Stipe Miocic.
Yeah. All right. Quick.
But I mean that's
just quick.
He's
Who
fighting
wins?
up a weight class too.
Who wins? Quick.
Miocic.
Yeah,
Greg?
Miocic, he's the bigger, faster starter. But I'll tell you one thing: if you guys want to stick in for a fight of the year, that'll get my nod to beat Silva versus Brown, because Maldonado or Fabio, whatever his
Maldonado
is literally, he is like, I don't even know he's like the freaking Terminator, man. You hit that guy with everything and he just keeps walking forward. Like, watch some of his other fights, dude. He is, I don't even know what the hell to say, man. He's like Homer Simpson. Remember Homer Simpson boxed in The Simpsons?
Mm-hmm.
Just kept getting hit.
Ended up like that fake Mike Tyson.
Tired
He
of
was standing there
over.
getting
That's
hit.
like what happened.
All right. See you guys next time.
All right. Peace, guys.
Adios.